Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for joining me, Debs Cooper, global stressologist. As you already know, now all going well. I'm looking at my phone. Let's see if this works. What a goodie today. Your stress isn't the problem, but your stories are. Let me know if you are here live, if you're here where you are. I think this is going to go well. I think. Maybe not. Try and do this. I think I'm just going to give it up. Let me know if you're in the chat, hashtag replay or where you are in the world. I will try and get on to see if I can answer your questions as this rolls, but I'm clearly not having a lot of faith in my technology. Boom, there we go. Your stress isn't the problem, but your stories are. I'm sure I actually say that every week. Anyway, oh my gosh, it's working. Hi, Donna, I can see you. That's fantastic. Wow, look at that. As soon as I take ownership of my stories, thank you, thank you, thank you. Note-taking device. Grab yourself a note-taking device. But let me actually give you the reasoning why I am doing this topic. About your stress isn't the problem, your stories are. Because this week I spoke to a woman. Hi, Shari. Week I spoke to a woman and she's been ripped off from a few coaches, and actually they're large sums, so I felt the ping inside of me, and it made me cringe, and not much makes me cringe, but once I realized her patterns, and this was it, once I realized her patterns, it unlocked a whole different thought in my brain. It actually stops her from investing into others, but also for people investing into her. So when we have these stories, they really are like mud, and we rub them all over us, and we're trying to lose this identity, but we're screaming out of who we are. So I said to her, is this, do you actually jump hoops? Do you like jump and over deliver to not be that particular coach for people? And she's like, yeah, I do. And I went, the penny just literally dropped on her. Because when you can actually recognize your story, it allows you to go, there's no excuse, there's no reasoning. Now it makes sense. And there's a different understanding of it making sense than not. So thank you to her, because that was a phenomenal call I had with her Wednesday, just literally about how our stories immobilize us without even knowing this is what it was. So grab your note-taking device. We're gonna crack right into that, but I'm sure you can resonate with that. If you're a coach that over-delivers, there's a story behind it. Anyway, I'll go back to what I'm talking about here. Otherwise, I'm going to go on one of these tangents. So there's a sneaky narrative, and you actually repeat it without realizing, and these things are costing you, and often you don't know until somebody actually calls you on it. So the signs for this are, you keep thinking, I have to do everything myself. Yeah, I have to do everything myself. Or you feel unappreciated even when others thank you. Thanks for doing that. And you're like, are we feeling this? Are we feeling this? Or you're quick to assume others' silence means something's wrong. Who's done that? Who's gone on a date with somebody and they haven't messaged you for 3 days? Because apparently it's after 3 days that they message you. I don't know. There's a whole different dating forum out there for now. And you're like, they didn't like me. I said that. I did that. I sat that way. I ate funny. All of those things. And these stories just literally just expand and expand and expand. So think of it as you're cleaning up after somebody or everyone again, and no one offers to help. You're the one who always, when family come over, you're the one who always goes to the kitchen, or you're the one who, when family, or you go to someone's house and you're always in the kitchen, it says, no one actually ever helps me. It's all about them, and they just sit there and do nothing. These are the stories that can be embedded into us. So see, there's the evidence. No one ever supports me. And that stress builds up on top of that story, not because of what you're actually doing, but because of your narrative of the stories that are holding you back. So the way to move forward from this is there's a couple of resolutions. So as soon as you use the words like absolutely, they never, should, any of those, they're actually red flags. They're no pink flags. They're not even a light shimmery pink or anything. They are red blooming flags that are actually a repeating story. So you're going to pause and you're going to ask, is this story even true? Is it actually true? And where's the evidence? There is no evidence because it's not actually true. So right now, so you're going to reframe it. Reframing is totally the way to go. Reframing is, I'm choosing to do this. I can ask for help next time. Or I'm choosing to do this and I'm asking for help now. If you're going to continue running this story, if you're going to continue running the story, it's just going to make you more and more embedded. Now, I'm going to bring that story up for Christmas time, because at Christmas time, or you go to these big functions, there's some who are always in the kitchen and some who always aren't. Now, I'm not a fantastic, and it's actually the truth. I really don't like spending a lot of time in the kitchen, but I will clean up. I would rather clean up than cook and do those things. So you can, at Christmas time or whenever you have a big thing, set the table for people, as in set the intention. So mum, you've got this job. Dad, you've got this job. Siblings, you've got this job. So everyone has a particular job, so it allows them to feel important, that is their job. Someone's on music, someone's on drinks, someone's on, a few people are on cleanup. Whatever that is, ensure that they are out and they all have their own job, or purposeful in whatever it is. So you just focusing on your job. You're not worrying about what everyone else is not doing, because it's not your role. Understand? It's not your role to be the martyr in that. The next one I'm going to give you is learn how to interrupt the emotional build-up before it explodes. You know that one. Learn how to see it and pull it back. So you'll be able to see it. You're irritable over small things, just small little things that are actually not small, but at the time you think they're big. And so you can feel that tension in your chest or your jaw, or everything's all tensed up and there's that tightness in there. And that often happens before you speak. Or you replay your conversations in your head after the events have happened. You replay your conversations in your head after the events have happened. So here's an example. Excuse me. Your partner walks in, says the wrong thing, and you snap. Your partner walks in, says the wrong thing, and you snap. And it could be, how was your day? Or, I've had a great day, and you haven't. It wasn't actually the comment. It wasn't the comment at all. It was actually about everything you've swallowed all week. And you've, funny, I'm losing my voice here. Something that you swallowed all week and you're about to explode. So here's some tips for you for this particular one. Build in a 60-second body scan through the day. And what you're going to do is you're going to go, where is this tension? Am I feeling it in my shoulders? Oh, am I feeling it in my chest? Am I feeling it in my tummy? Is my head overwhelming? Have I got tightness in my jaw? You're actually going to do that body scan through your body, and you're just going to check in, where's that tension? Okay? Where is that tension? And then you're going to go, what needs to be looked at before this explodes or grows? Explodes usually. And usually when it explodes in the most inconvenient place in public, when you really don't want it out of everything. That's usually when it explodes. So doing that 60-second scan, or even just for yourself, just, can I feel my body? Can I feel my body? Can I feel my body? What feels tense? And just move it a little bit more. Just move it a little bit more. And the other thing is you can journal. I'm a firm believer on journaling. And that's actually just do a 3-sentence brain dump. But you can also break the build up. And so a 3-sentence brain dump is just, I'm feeling like this. This is what's going on. I spotted my tension. Because what you're doing is you're removing the weeds, weeds, for those who don't understand my accent, the weeds from your head, and you're planting flowers. So when the weeds get pulled out on the paper, not just thinking and because when it's on thinking, it's still just moving side by side in your head. So when we look at the weeds, we're pulling them out because we recognize them, journaling that 3-sentence brain dump, and then more beautifulness will be able to come in, more flowers will be able to come in because we're removing the brain clutter. The other one is you're going to shift your language, which is your inner dialogue, becomes actually your calm, not your chaos. So you're going to shift, and I'm not talking about swearing here, I'm talking about you shifting your language. So, who here has called themselves stupid, slack, a mess, anything in the last week or 2 weeks under their breath? Who's even thought that? Or, oh, I'm so done, I've fallen for this game. Or, oh, I'm just the same person who does this, this, and this. You don't have to put your hand up, because I know I've definitely done. I've called myself a few things this week, like, oh, should have known better. Should have known better. Is that word should again? So you also downplay your wins and you exaggerate your mistakes. So you downplay those things to soften it for other people around, don't you? You downplay your wins and exaggerate your mistakes. And you feel like a fraud when others praise you. Ouch, ouch, ouch. So a real life example is you missed a meeting and you're like, oh, of course I forgot. I can't get anything right now. And so your heart rate rises just with that there. Your heart rate rises not from the mistake, but from actually attacking yourself over it. If you recorded yourself, how many times do you say those things in a day? So you're going to catch that internal talk. And what would I say this to someone I love? Would I use these words to someone I actually love? And you're going to replace the words with, that was insightful. I'm going to need to catch these things sooner. Knowing that your language rewires your mindset. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to rewire our mindset. So your language actually rewires your mindset. So it's going to be, I didn't see that earlier. Thanks very much. Just acknowledging these things because it's quite insightful when you actually can see it. I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. The other one I'm going to talk about is how a reset process. And a reset process is to ground yourself when those old stories come creeping back in, and they just come in. They come in this little way like this, little, and then suddenly, boom, there they are. So you're going to build yourself this process. So these are the signs. Pardon. You're spiraling about something that hasn't even happened yet. You're spiraling about something that hasn't even happened yet. You feel hijacked by old patterns when you're tired or triggered. You feel hijacked by old patterns when you're tired or triggered. Or you've gone quiet, but you're not at serenity in here. You're not at peace. You've gone quiet. So when I think about this, I had to giggle at that first one when I was starting to write it. You're spiraling about something that hasn't even happened yet. So when I sat down here, I was like, oh, my worst nightmare is I'm in a hotel in Brisbane, the Marriott, come and see me. And my thing was, I guarantee, I bet, I know with certainty, this whole story happened into my head, that the cleaners are going to come when I'm doing this Facebook Live. I know that's what's going to happen. It's absolutely going to happen. It's never happened to me before, but I just know this is what's going to happen because of my experience yesterday and can you hear how fast I'm going? That's literally what my head was going. That blooming quickly. By the way, they haven't come in. And I went, as soon as I recognized it, I went, cancel. Oh, I'm not telling you the examples yet. Cancel. Just so I was just like, that's just a story. It's just a story. Then there it is. So hang on, let's go back to the actual real life example that I actually had when I think about this. So you didn't get a reply to a message. And within minutes you convince yourself that you've upset them. And you start planning an apology you may not need. Or not, or just you're going to recruit people into your story to give you justification. Are we getting these ones here? So when I think about this resolution, there's a reset process that I've started to look at for me, and it seems to be working. I'm definitely not perfect. 100% I'm not perfect. I'm going to say that because nobody can be perfect. So that's not actually a story. That's a truth. So R for recognize the story. Reset. E for exhale slowly. S is for speak a grounding truth. And the truth is, you don't have all the facts. You don't have all the facts. That's fully a truth. Even if you ask someone, they will not give you their perception of their story at that time. So you don't have all the facts. The next one is R-E-S-E-T. R-E-S-E is engage. Engage with your body. Move, stretch, touch something, grounding. Just feel your body in this. Engage with your body and feel where things are sitting. And the last one, T, is take a different action than usual. Take a different action than usual. So it could be go for a walk instead of spiraling. It could be ring a friend. It could be jumping onto one of Deb's favorite Facebook Lives, whatever that is, but take a different action than usual. Reset. R-E-S-E-T. Now, these are simple tips, but just know there's going to be times you're going to go, oh, I don't even know what that tip was. I don't even know what that tip was. So just for today, you're going to start with it. Be aware that everybody, including yourself, wants 3 words out of life: seen, heard, and acknowledged. People want to be seen, heard, and acknowledged. If you can see, hear, and acknowledge other people, the chaos shifts. If you can be seen, heard, acknowledged, your chaos shifts. It's not as crazy as what we think. Seen, heard, acknowledged. And if you've got confrontation, if you can see them, hear them, acknowledge them, now you don't have to agree with them, but if you can do that, it's already settled. Calmed your farm, as my cousin would say. So also I'm going to talk about my glitter, and my glitter is whatever lights me up. So I'd love you to do something every day that, more often than what, that actually lights you up. What are those glitter moments? What are those things that actually light you up, engage you, you become alive from? Because they're the ones that keep you functioning. Now, they might be people, they might be food, they might be a lipstick, they might be a perfume, they might be whatever, they might be hotel sheets. I don't know why we haven't got hotel sheets at home yet, honey, but that would be great. But whatever they are, what are those glitter bomb moments that actually light you up? And they're the ones that keep you functioning throughout the day. You also, I'm going to talk about personally. One of the 4 agreements is don't take anything personally. Knowing that you're human, you have human experiences, you have a human emotion, but you don't know what others are dealing with. I talked a little bit about it. So yesterday I had a checking in experience at the hotel, and let's just say it was a discombobulated. I thought I was having a great day, got to the check-in, and it started. As soon as I checked in, the cart wasn't there. I had 9 pieces of luggage. I had somebody else's bag. See, justification very quick. I had someone else's bag, and the rest were mine. We had all this, and the trolley wasn't there. I asked to get the trolley. They were like, "Yep, just go help yourself." And I was a little bit like, "Well, that's not a nice, beautiful experience." So it just started and escalated. And I think about this as, you know, when you're racing out the door and your clothes or bags get caught on the door handle. And so that's actually saying stop, slow down, breathe, reset right there. Because then you're like, stupid door, somebody left it open, or stupid top, this happens to me all the time. You can see these little stories that just keep creeping in and creeping in and creeping in. So anyway, I went through this process, and it was a good 40 minutes to check in by the time we got there. And I got up to my floor, and I was on my floor, and I realized that the executive lounge that I'd got extra is on the next level up. And I was like, oh, this is such a pain, having to wait for the lift, and I had to wait 7 minutes for the lift because, I justified, I got my old timer out, I was waiting and waiting. So you can imagine my head was running on this perfect example for here right now. And so I went, okay, I'm just going to stop this. I'm going to ask downstairs. Because I went, see, they didn't like me downstairs, so they definitely put me on this floor to inconvenience me. Yeah, even though there was no evidence. Okay. So I rang them and I said, can you put me onto that floor so I don't have to go up and down the lift? And the lady's like, let me check with my manager. And the manager is the one I had the problem with. So at that time I was like, see, the truth is, yep, they definitely don't like me, blah, blah. And she came back and I said, they can turn this around at any time. You know this story. I just went on this whole tangent of a mind running thing. Anyway, the lady came back and she said, oh, we're waiting on people. No, there's no rooms available on that floor. And we're waiting on people to check in. So you can't. I said, well, can't, because I've just checked in. Can't you just move me? They can have this room. And then she said, no, they're all blocked out. And I said, but can't you just move me? Because if they're all the same rooms up there as here, can't you just move? And she was like, no, you're not listening to me. And at that point, I was like, right. See, they're totally against me. No one likes me. And the story just ran. And I said, thank you. There's no point in having this conversation anymore. And I hung up and I thought, wow, you were a little bit of a BH, Deborah, to the lady downstairs. And then I went, what is this reflecting in me? And the truth was, I realized that the last place I just stayed 8 nights at was amazing. The staff were amazing. I was 2 doors along from the executive lounge. It was just so much that my head was just a beautiful space of that last thing. So I brought that infatuation into this hotel without me consciously being aware of it. Now I know. I went, you asked for this experience to calm you down from your infatuation with the last one. So that was just a beautiful realization. And I have a truth bomb here. People don't go out of their way to peeve you off. And definitely, I would say definitely not hotel managers as well. They don't go out of their way to peeve you off. People are concerned about reviews and the rest of it, so they're not purposely going, and we put her on that floor because she was rude to us or because she sighed too much. They're not going to, people just don't go out of their way because they have their own motive, and you may never know what their motive is, but it's actually not your place to find their motive. Your place is to be purposeful on your vision and mission and where you're going in life. Where do I want to go? What do I want to do? How do I want it to look like? And we're away. And we are away laughing. And this is exactly what we're doing. So people actually aren't going out of their way to peeve you off, even though you think it's just a crazy ass story that you've got. Craziest story that you've got there. But if you're interested in knowing more about this, if you're interested, there's somebody to contact. There's someone to contact, and that is me. Even though I have my daily or not daily, weekly wobbles, I'm human. I am here. I'm here having an experience that I can share those with you, and I trust that they're going to land with you, that you're actually going to go, yep, I can see myself in that space. I can see myself in that space. But no, you're not alone. I've got your back. I've been in this business 19 years. I couldn't think of anything more important to do. I'm currently here in Brisbane with Dr. John DeMartini, who's doing the Breakthrough Experience over the weekend. I'll drop the link in the chat. I think there's 10 seats available left. We've got 100 people available seats in the room. It's still going to be a beautiful experience, intimate. You're going to get what you want that's going to help you remove stress. I'm also going to talk a little bit about Breakfast Champions. And the reason I say Breakfast Champions is a Dr. Belle Stone, who's a master facilitator like myself, who's doing an event here on Monday morning for 2 hours where we're going to go through your life in a condensed version, and we're going to expand it and give you some actionable steps that are going to open your eyes and transform your world. So I'll drop that in the chat also. But I just want to give you a heads up to next week's talk because of this one here, because of this talk here, I want you to know that there's some chaos, discombobulation going on out there in the world, as we all know, always around us. But I want to show you how you can be okay being the villain in someone else's story, because there's people who don't like me, and some it still affects me because I haven't worked through them, but it's actually about being okay with being the villain in someone else's story, because there's people who are going to like you and don't like you. And these are the stories that we're holding on to. So your stress isn't the problem, your stories are. So you'll get more information about that one next week, so we can move through that. But this is me signing off from Brisbane, Debs Cooper, Global Stressologist. Your stress isn't the problem, your stories are. Drop any questions in the chat, private message me. I trust that I'm going to see you very, very soon if you're on this side of the world or where I am. But please don't let this stuff, and they're just stories, don't let this stuff freeze you, hold you back from being more magnificent than you already are, even if you don't feel it, So I want to thank everyone who's on here live. Thank you very much for coming, and I will see you all next week or at the weekend or Monday. Thank you very much. Bye.